What's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues. It is time now for the wastewater update for Sunday, November 19th, 2023. That's right. It is the Sunday before Thanksgiving. And what we're going to be doing here is taking a look at the various different wastewater levels around the country. Now, right off the bat, you probably notice there's a bit more orange and to some degree more gray as well. And gray is not something we like to see at all. Gray means, hey, there's some wastewater sites that are not reporting. However, we're going to go through the ones that are reporting today. We're not going to go through every wastewater site, but we're going to go through some sites in each region of the United States. Maybe this is the first time you've ever seen one of my wastewater updates, and that's great. Welcome to my channel. I will explain to you what we're about to go through. First off, let's start with the CDC map. And you can see here there are several different colors. As mentioned, there's gray, there's orange, there's red, there's different blues, and there's even whites. So starting off here, there's 130 new sites that are in the white. Now sometimes they list a site in the white, and it's not always necessarily new, it just defaults to that. Don't really know why it does that. Then we come down here to 0 to 19%, which is really low levels of COVID. There's 58 sites like that. Then you have 20 to 39%, which is still relatively low. There's 287 sites in that category. Then you get into the moderate shade of blue, the really light shade of blue, 40 to 59%. That's where we start getting concerned. There's 414 of them. And then we get to the orange, which is 60 to 79%, which, like I said, that number has increased. In fact, it's increased by 9% to 258. Then we come to the red, which is 80 to 100% COVID detected. That's really high levels of COVID. Luckily, there's only 47, but that number is going to start increasing soon. And then, as noted, you have these gray sites that did not update, and that even includes New York City, Louisiana, much of Oregon. But then we can also come to this website, which is Wastewater Scan. We used to use the BioBot website. We don't anymore. They're not accurate anymore. But now we can use Wastewater Scan, which has several different viruses, not just COVID, but we can also take a look at RSV, influenza, Mpox, and a whole bunch of different things, norovirus. And we notice nationally, COVID, SARS-CoV-2 as they call it, is high. RSV is high. Norovirus is also high. So let's go back to the CDC page. I think this week we'll start off in the Northeast this week, and we'll make our way to the South and then to the West. We'll spend a few minutes in each region, and over the next 15 to 20 minutes you will see that, hey, there are places where COVID is starting to rise. Let's start off in the state of Maine. And taking a look, very small wastewater site to get us started here, Waldo, Maine. 4,000 population here. You can see here, the levels, they're not great. And they are starting to rise again. They're in the orange right now. That's 60 to 79% COVID detected. Then we come down here to York, Maine. This site doesn't update all that frequently. It's in the orange, 10,000 population. Then come over to New Hampshire, Merrimack, New Hampshire, very small site, 4,000 population, also in the orange. This one doesn't update all that frequently, and that is a problem with the majority of the New Hampshire sites on the CDC page. Here's one that does update more frequently, Sullivan, 6,500 population, and thankfully it is dropping at this time. Now, we want to take a look at Vermont and take a look at Massachusetts. For us to do that, we need to come over to the wastewater scan site. And let's do Boston first, shall we? Now here we're going to see multiple different viruses. COVID is medium and holding steady at this time. RSV is high and, yikes, RSV is rising rapidly at this time. Influenza was low and dropping. Now it's starting to rise. HMPV is rising a little bit. Norovirus is low at this time, and it doesn't look like they're showing Mpox here anymore. They used to show Mpox, now they're not. Hepatitis A, by the way, many detections of that, so not good to see hepatitis A show so many detections. Now we come up here to Vermont. Let's take a look at Montpelier. And we see for Montpelier that COVID, it's relatively high at this time, and on the most recent update, starting to rise again. RSV is low, but it is rising. Influenza at this time is low but dropping, and norovirus is low and dropping at this time as well. And here's Mpox. I just saw it here. Here's Mpox. So Mpox does exist still on these charts. They just relocated it. And no Mpox detection at this time. Let's do one more in Vermont. Let's see what's going on up in Burlington area. How about we go to South Burlington, Vermont? And here we see COVID is medium, but we do see that it is dropping slightly at this time. RSV is low. Influenza, yikes, it's high and rapidly rising. So flu, it's starting to become an issue in Vermont. And here's Mpox for Burlington, and there are no Mpox cases detected at this time. Let's go back to the CDC website. First off, I want to show you this real quickly. In case you're wondering, the variant that is causing the rise in cases in some of these areas right now, it's HV.1. Unfortunately, we can't go region by region with the CDC variant page because a lot of the regions do not update it. It's just a problem. I mean, we used to be able to go through all these different regions. Now half of them you don't even get data for. All right, back to the wastewater update. Taking a look here, now we're going to go to New York State. We're just going to randomly go through some. Saratoga, this is a big wastewater site. 152,482 population. And take a look at this. Yeah, it's starting to rise again. It had a drop there for about a month or two. Now it's at the cusp of rising again, and you're going to see that a lot in New York State. Here's Oswego. This one's rapidly rising. You do see that there are some red sites. And I should note, while nationally red sites are down, there are a few new places that were orange and now switched over to red, despite nationally the total number being down. And I think this is one of them right here. Erie, look at this. This is a pretty rapid rise, and that's not good to see. This is a smaller population, 24,461, but yeah, not good. And I do think some of these sites, if they continue to rise, they will switch over to the red from orange. Now you can see there's some other Erie, New York sites here that are also dropping. You just saw one. Here's one that's smaller, but you did see one that's bigger. This one's still dropping, so that's good to see. Let's go down here to southern New York, and you can see here, not bad here. As we come towards the lower Hudson Valley, it's not terrible. Still dropping at this time, which is good to see. Then we come over to Long Island, and you can see Long Island not yet rising at the majority of these sites. However, this Nassau site did start to rise. Now it's leveled off a little bit. And let's see if we can take a look at Connecticut over on the wastewater scan site. They did have one site there. Yes, we can go down to Stamford, Connecticut. And this is a fairly big site, if I remember correctly. Yes, 140,000 population. COVID, it's still dropping at this time, so that's good to see. It had a brief rise, but the most recent update is dropping. RSV is dropping. Influenza is starting to rise again. HMPV is dropping. Hepatitis A is not detected at this time, and no Mpox detected as well. Coming back over here, let's also take a look real quickly at Rhode Island. Kent County, Rhode Island, 33,000 population, and dropping at this time. New Jersey, let's see what's going on there. Union, Essex County, New Jersey. Big site. It is in the orange, and it is dropping at this time. Atlantic County, New Jersey is in the red and dropping. And Cumberland County, New Jersey is still dropping as well. What's going on in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania? Now, we know, or at least I personally know, you wouldn't know this, but Montgomery County, it's a fairly populated county. It has about 800,000 people living in that county. If you're familiar with the county, you know it's populated. You know 8,900 that it shows right here is not the total population of the county. Continuing on, you can see there's some more Montgomery counties. These two are dropping, but that first one, look at this, it's rapidly rising. That's not good to see. I can't show you Philadelphia because Philadelphia hasn't updated. There is an actual separate website for that. See the pandemic update in the near future. I'm not going to go off and say Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. In the near future, see the pandemic update, and I will show you some data for that. Center County, Pennsylvania, we can see here that things are relatively flat at this time. Again, all this is going to change post-Thanksgiving. Westmoreland, Armstrong County, Pennsylvania, rising at this time. Now let's come down to Maryland. How about we do Delaware first? Kent County, Delaware. It's in the orange and rapidly rising. Maryland, can't really do much with Maryland. We can do Washington County, Maryland. 90,000 population, holding flat at this time. Can we go to the wastewater scan website? Let's see. Can we do anything there? And no, not much different that I can do there. But let's come down to the DC area. I'm seeing a DC site that is now on there. This is brand new, and it's only had 2 updates. And look at this, it's starting to rise, and this is a huge site. This is fantastic. 2 million population site on wastewater scan. Great. Starting to rise. So the most recent updates show rising of everything so far. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Sticking with wastewater scan, let's use it for Virginia as well, shall we? Let's see what's going on here. Little Falls Run. And we can see here COVID is medium at this time, rising. RSV is low, influenza is low, HMPV is low, norovirus is medium, and the overall trajectory has been rising, and not terribly concerned about anything else. I'm also seeing another Maryland site. So let's go to Hollywood, Maryland. This is Eastern Maryland, and we can see here that medium for COVID. RSV, the overall trajectory has been rising. It's high, that's not good. Influenza is low, HMPV is low, norovirus. Yikes. Norovirus is rising at this time, and no other issues with other viruses at this time. Now we come down to North Carolina. How about we go down to Winston-Salem? And we can see Winston-Salem is not doing too good. Medium for COVID and starting to rise. RSV is high and has been continuously rising since September. Influenza is high. The overall trajectory is up, though it has started to drop slightly. Norovirus is dropping at this time. Hepatitis A is not an issue, and Mpox is not detected at this time. Continuing on with North Carolina, let's go slightly more east. How about we come down here to Kinston, North Carolina, and we can see Kinston, North Carolina this week is high for COVID, and wow, continuing to rise. RSV is just rapidly rising, already high. Medium for norovirus. Influenza is rising. HMPV is rising. They did have a detection of Mpox back in September 22nd. And we can also see here there is no hepatitis A at this time. Let's go back to the CDC website, and we'll take a look at a couple more North Carolina sites. You can see here, not terrible. Light blue in and around the Charlotte area, so that's not bad, but wait a second here. Lincoln, North Carolina, you are starting to rise, so that's not good to see. South Carolina, Richland, South Carolina, yeah, it's starting to rise at this time. We're concerned about that. Kershaw, then we come up here to Greenville. So South Carolina at this time, wow, yep, overall trajectory is upward. That's not good to see. And we do see a red site in Fulton, Georgia. That's the Atlanta area. Again, let's go back over to this wastewater scan site. And we'll probably, yes, let's use the wastewater scan site for the rest of Georgia. And as we come down to Florida, we can see here Clayton, Atlanta, Georgia, flat at this time for COVID. We suspect that's going to rise post-Thanksgiving. RSV is high and rising. Influenza overall trajectory is up, though it looks like that may be turning towards down now. I don't think that's going to last. Norovirus, high and rapidly rising. Hepatitis A, there was a detection of that. And now let's come down to Florida. Let's do 2 sites in Florida. How about we go to the Northwest water facility in the Orlando area, 66,000 served. COVID is low and dropping. RSV is high, but starting to drop. Influenza is low. HMPV low. Norovirus is actually dropping at this time, and no Mpox detections. Now let's go down to Miami and see what's going on there. And let's just go right to the central one in Miami and see what's going on in Biscayne. And we can see COVID is high and rising. RSV is high and rising. Influenza overall trajectory is up. Norovirus is rising. HMPV not an issue. Hepatitis A detected, and looks like back in October they had multiple detections of Mpox virus. Now going back to the CDC website, you can see the rest of Florida doesn't appear to be too bad. What's going on here at Leon? 212,000 population here, flat at this time. I can't show you anything in Louisiana, at least not on the CDC site because it's all grayed out. We can see here in the Birmingham, Alabama area, not doing too bad just yet, but we do suspect that's going to start rising again soon. Let's come up here to Ohio now and see what's going on there. Ohio, Richland, Ohio is rapidly rising. Then we come to Crawford, Ohio, that's dropping. And what we want to see is Franklin County, Ohio, and that is starting to rise, 645,000 population. Cincinnati area, yes, starting to rise there as well. Now let's go up to Michigan, and in Michigan, we are seeing that near Detroit, things are somewhat stable. One site's rising a little bit, this one's dropping a little bit. Again, post-Thanksgiving, I expect all of that to change. Eaton, Michigan, not doing too bad. Indiana, what's going on there? You see Hamilton dropping at this time. I mean, we do know that there are some orange sites here, and here is a red site in Vigo County, 58,000 population, and rapidly rising. Now let's go to Chicago, Illinois area. Look at this. Rapidly rising in Chicago, and if we go to Chicago's website, which we can do right here, we can see hospitalizations are going up and laboratory confirmed cases. So yeah, you got cases, you got wastewater rising. Yeah, it's pretty much set in stone. The winter wave is underway in Chicago. Here's another site in Chicago that is rising at this time. Yeah, it just goes on and on. How about Wisconsin? What's going on there? I'm seeing red in Columbia, small wastewater site. Red and rapidly rising. That's not good. And then we do note that there's a lot of orange. I mean, it's pretty much uniform. All the regions of Wisconsin at this time are rising, if not rapidly rising. And we do note, here's the peninsula of Michigan, western Michigan. And take a look at this. Yes, it's rising up there as well. So not good. Let's come over to Minnesota, then we'll take a look at all this red in Nebraska. Minnesota, yes, you don't update frequently enough. But I suspect if Wisconsin's rising, it's going to spread your way relatively soon. Now let's take a look at all this rising in Nebraska. Yeah, look at this. Red, 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 red. I mean, just rapidly rising. Not good. Not good. Please, Nebraska, you need to take this virus seriously. Scottsbluff is dropping. Real quickly, Iowa. What's going on there? Well, Iowa's not updating that frequently. Johnson, Iowa is rising at this time. Taking a look at Missouri, you can see Missouri, not terrible just yet, but I suspect we will find a couple here that are rising. No? We're just randomly going through Missouri here. Here's one. Jasper is rising. So Missouri overall is not bad yet, but I suspect that's eventually going to change. Like everything else, Thanksgiving's probably going to be what causes you to start rising. Let's take a look at Dallas, Texas now. And for that, I think we're going to go back to the Wastewater Scan website. Here's the Fort Worth area, and let's see what's going on there. We note that White Rock Central, for COVID, it's medium at this time and rising. RSV is high. Influenza is low. HMPV, not an issue at this time. Norovirus is low and dropping. Hepatitis A, there's some detection of it. Mpox is not detected, so that is good. And let's see, let's do one more in Texas, then we must get to the West Coast. Let's just go north of the Houston area, Woodlands, and let's see what's going on there. COVID is medium and dropping. RSV is high but dropping at this time. Influenza is low. HMPV not an issue. Norovirus is high, but on the most recent updates, it is dropping, and no Mpox detection at this time, and also no issues with hepatitis A. Alright, continuing back to the CDC website, let's slowly make our way to the west. First off, Kansas. I see a red site here. Reno, Kansas. Overall trajectory is upward. That's not good. Let's come out here to Arizona now. See what's going on with you. And look at this one. Not doing too bad. 23,000 population. It was rising, but now it has leveled off a little bit. And then we come to Mojave. Sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly. 37,500 population. Yes, starting to rise at this time. Before we get to California, we do want to take a look at Colorado. I'm seeing all kinds of different colors here. Here's Boulder, Weld, starting to rise at this time. Here's Douglas, doesn't update, but it is in the orange. So You're in the orange. That's not good. You have moderate transmission of COVID at this time. Here's Morgan, smaller site and rising. So you get the idea here. It's a mixed picture, but I think overall trend pretty soon is going to be rising. And if we go to Colorado's website, we can see the hospitalizations have started rising there. All right, moving on to Utah. We are starting to see some orange increase in Utah, and that's not good. We come closer to the Salt Lake area, yes, we're seeing rising. I think a majority of these sites, like look at this one, Utah County, Utah, it's just been, overall trajectory has been up. I think we're going to see the majorities go back to orange pretty soon. We'll see some red pop up. Washington County, Utah, you're rising as well. All right, let's come out here to California. You can see California, the majority of these sites don't update, so we have to go to the wastewater scan site. We'll do 2 in California, then we will do the Pacific Northwest. And you can see here that, let's come down here. Let's go to the Joint Water Pollution Control Plant. I believe that's portion of LA. Yes, 3.5 million. COVID, it's starting to rapidly rise. RSV is rapidly rising. COVID's in the medium, RSV's low. Not going to last. That's going to quickly go to moderate should that continue. Influenza was rising, now it's dropping some. Norovirus is rising. Hepatitis A, it is being detected. And Mpox is not an issue at this time. Let's do another one in California. Let's come up further north this time. How about we go to the Sacramento area? What is going on in Sacramento? Medium for COVID, I can tell you that much. Rose some, and now it's dropping slightly. RSV is rapidly rising. And this is a good time for me to remind you all, there is now a vaccine for RSV. So in places where you're seeing it rapidly rising, please take special care. Be careful. Get that RSV vaccination. Everyone should be getting it everywhere, but especially in these areas where it's rapidly rising. Influenza. It's dropping at this time. That's good to see. HMPV is low. Norovirus. Yikes. Medium and rapidly rising. Should that continue, it will go to high. Hepatitis A has been detected. And look at all these various monkeypox. Excuse me. Mpox. Mpox detections. There's quite a few of them. That is not good to see. Let's come up here to the Pacific Northwest. Let's go close to Seattle. Let's take a look here. And we can see here COVID rising. And then we have RSV, which is high. COVID's also high, rising. Influenza is low at this time. HMPV is low, but rising. That could go moderate soon. Norovirus is in the medium. And we see hepatitis not an issue. Mpox is not an issue. Let's go back to the CDC page, and we can see more sites here. And still in Washington State, dropping at this site. Then we come down here. Let's see here. King, 288,000 population was rising. It's in the orange. Now it's slightly dropping. We'll have to see if that lasts because Thanksgiving is coming. You can see here, overall, not terrible in Washington yet. Spokane, whoa. I take that back. Spokane is not good. You're in the near moderate, but you're rapidly rising. You're going to probably go orange pretty soon. Now let's take a look at what's going on in Idaho, and we can see that in Idaho at this time, the majority of these sites are not updating, but the ones that are updating, here's one, Canyon. Look at this, 100,200 population, and it is starting to rise at this time, so that is fairly concerning that we only have one that's actually updated more frequently, and there it is, it's rising. I wanted to show you some of Oregon, can't. There's really no data for there right now. You can see all the sites are gray. I don't know when they're going to come back. Let's take a look here in Montana. Lewis and Clark is still dropping at this time, and I can't show you the Dakotas either. Can I show you just one site? I can show you Yankton, South Dakota, and that at this time is dropping. If I missed any states, apologies. Remember, some states don't update. Oklahoma. Here's Arkansas. What's going on at this one site that's updating in Arkansas? Boone County, Arkansas at this time. 15,000 population. It's flat. And it looks like we have one site in Tennessee. Shelby. 300,000 population. Again, doesn't update frequently, but it is coming up as moderate. So that is a problem. How about Kentucky? Jefferson, Kentucky is coming up in the 20 to 39% range at this time. With this is a big population, 423,000, and again, it doesn't update that frequently. West Virginia, I don't think we have any sites there. and unfortunately no sites for New Mexico. How about Alaska or Hawaii? There's a few in Hawaii. Let's see there real quickly. And we can see here, again, they don't update that frequently. How about this one site in Alaska that is coming up with color on it? Which it's coming up, it looks like it's in the lighter shade of blue. Anchorage, Alaska, not updating all that frequently. Alright, if I missed anywhere, guys, sorry, we'll try and get some more in during the pandemic updates during the week. Don't know when the next pandemic update's going to be or whether it's going to be a data-filled one. It's going to be a busy week. Next weekend, though, however, we will go back to our regular data-filled pandemic updates. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe down below. And if you know anyone that needs to see this content, I know this was a long update today. By all means, share this with them. I'll see you all during the week. Stay safe, everyone. Thanksgiving's coming. The surge, it's going to pick up. These numbers, they're all going to start rising. It's not good to see that we have some sites already that are rising pre-Thanksgiving. See you guys again next time. Stay safe. Thanks for watching.